Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the DoubleClutch.ca podcast. I'm your host, Nick, managing editor of DoubleClutch.ca. Thank you. That was Nathan.
Hi.
Imran is on vacation for the next couple of weeks, so we have Caleigh here.
Hello.
How's it going, Caleigh? It's been a while since you've been on the podcast.
Yeah, it's been going great. Been keeping busy and
Cool.
eager to get back on.
Cool. You enjoying top-down driving with your E93?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a touchy subject recently.
Yes.
Because I got poured on this morning. But
Yes, you did not have a good morning this morning.
no, I did not. But anyways, I digress. It's been great.
It's a rite of passage for convertible ownership to have that experience. Ask me how many times it's happened to me.
But the difference between me and you is I have a hard top that takes about 23 seconds to close. I'm totally making that number up if I'm being so honest. But anyways, it's fine. But I feel like yours might be a little bit easier to close. Anyways.
Do you think the Miata is the first car that has been exposed to weather in my ownership?
I guess not.
Okay. Caleigh, you've been busy.
I have. Last weekend, I got the opportunity to get my M2.
Whoa!
Right? Through learning curves at the Honda campus in Markham.
And for those listeners who aren't quite familiar with the licensing structure in Ontario, your M license is basically your motorcycle license.
Yeah.
Caleigh going on two wheels.
Hell yeah, brother. It's been pretty fun. It was awesome. Like, I had two instructors, Coleman and Christy. Mm-hmm. They were amazing.
Cool.
They're actually married, which was super cool.
That's cute.
And collectively have 16 motorcycles between the two of them.
Yo.
16.
Bro, that's it?
Yeah. Okay, whatever. But also, I knew Coleman was a dude when he showed up in a Honda Acti. That's his daily, his winter driver. Like,
I was wondering whose that was in the visitor parking.
yeah, he's like
sick.
A really cool guy. And it was nice to have a girl too, because they could, like, I don't know, give something that a man might not think of, like how to put a helmet on when you have earrings, because I did lose gold earrings last weekend, which was awesome.
That sucks.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, no, it was great. There was an in-class portion. We talked about licensing, different factors that influence riding, your gear, and then lane positioning, which was kind of funny. He went around the class and he said, "Hey, does anyone here drive a Tesla?" And this one guy was like, "Yeah, me." And then he's like, "Okay, does anyone here drive a BMW?"
Uh-oh.
And then I raised my hand. This other guy raised his hand. He's like, "Okay, listen, I mean zero offense to you guys, but I am going to use these two car brands as examples of bad drivers." So
I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, me and my E93 understand the stereotype and try not to add to it. But
Use your turn signals.
yeah, of course. Anyways, I was a little bit nervous because, not to throw Nathan under the bus, but he was saying that the in-class portion was a little boring.
When I did it last year, yeah, it was really, really boring. But my instructor also hadn't taught in years and was just kind of rambling the whole time.
Yeah, no, I found, like, it was...
I didn't know lane positioning when we started. When we got on the bike, I didn't know anything about lane positioning.
Really?
Like, outside of what I knew going into it,
Yeah.
I was not educated on anything.
No, I mean, they like, Coleman and Christy, they were fantastic, very experienced. And then the second day we were on motorcycles. I got to drive a CBR 300R. It was the only red crotch rocket on the parking lot.
Cool.
Yeah.
They had a pretty stacked selection of bikes there too. They had what, like 3 or 4 Groms there as well,
Yeah,
and a couple of dirt bikes.
Groms, Rebels, CB300R, and there was something else that I don't really remember.
That's funny, because so when I did it, it was like all dirt bikes, just a mishmash of dirt bikes, 1 Grom, and like one cruisery looking bike. Because dirt bikes are cheap and light, and if you throw them at things, they don't break, which tends to happen. Did anyone wipe out? Did you wipe out?
I did not wipe out. I did not drop a motorcycle. Some people dropped a motorcycle. Some people quasi lost control. But it isn't in a controlled environment in a parking lot. I mean, there's like, and also everything is taught very progressively and gradually.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm so happy with the way that it played out. I feel much, much more confident. I mean, obviously I had no experience before, but, it was really great, and the instructors were fantastic.
That's great. Yeah, because they're really good about. I'm assuming the curriculum is roughly the same on most of these,
sure.
where like it's a very incremental hand-holdy type thing. Where like I'm guessing for the first half of your day on Saturday, you didn't even start the bike until like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we learned the whole clutching, not the clutch point, but like the grab and everything. Like it was very, very incremental.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're being pushed on the bike to get a feel for it before you even start the damn thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It was great. The one thing that really, really sucked was the 37-degree weather.
Yeah, you somehow picked you managed to pick like the hottest weekend of the entire year so far to wear a jacket, gloves, jeans, boots, and a helmet.
Yep.
That must have been fucking brutal.
It was terrible. The thing, so like if you were dying and really couldn't, the nice thing about the course was you could always go back another weekend. Like it wasn't like, hey, you failed, you're done, you have to pay again. Like not at all. It was super, super like lenient, I guess, that way, which was reassuring. But at the same time, everyone's like, they're like, hey, listen, we can stop doing this today and you can come back next week. But like we had an hour left when it was really, really bad. So it might as well just push through, get the test done. So yeah, no, it was fantastic.
That's great. And it's cool that like they let you like, okay, if you burn it this time, you can come back. You don't got to go through the whole course again. You just come back and try the test again because you have to demonstrate that you can do it, right?
Yeah. And that's that one person unfortunately did not pass. He was, oh my God, he was 65. I mean,
cool. Good for him.
That's another thing that I thought was really cool was the demographic. Like there were both girls and boys, and girls and boys. Sorry, men and women. But yeah, there was like older people, younger people. It was really spread out, and everyone was so supportive because we're all in the same boat. No one knows what they're doing. So yeah, I'd highly recommend, even if you have like an itch or an inkling you want to try it out, do it. Like it was really well structured, and everyone, even if you didn't pass the test, everyone had a better understanding of how things work, why you have to do this, why you can't do this, you know. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it's just a fun activity regardless of the benefit you get to carry with you after the fact.
100%. I had so much fun. Yeah.
And
I passed.
hell yeah!
Yeah, goodbye. I don't have my M2 yet. I have about 30 days left with my M1 before I can officially upgrade. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Sick.
Yeah.
Kylie's going on 2 wheels.
Maybe.
So, while you were doing the rider training course last weekend, what were you doing, Nathan?
I was at a racetrack in Nova Scotia.
What?
Okay, did you have any lobster rolls, though?
No.
God damn it.
I had oysters.
Ooh.
Nice.
And scallops.
Ooh.
I don't fuck with sea bugs.
What?
Lobsters and crab? I got no time for that shit, man.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out.
I had a really good beef tartare instead. Anyway, I was at Atlantic Motorsports Park, which is about half an hour outside of Nova Scotia.
Is that a new course? I never heard of it.
No, it's a very old course. It was
Really?
constructed in 1974, and their claim to fame is that Jacques Villeneuve won his first Formula Atlantic race there.
Cool. Neat little tidbit.
Super cool track. It's pretty much like Summit Point or like Willow Springs, like those American tracks where it's like very undulating, windy, technical, lots of elevation change. Every corner is blind. Very tricky track. Narrow, not a lot of passing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were there with Nissan to watch the Sentra Cup race, which they've been doing for 11 years uninterrupted now.
So it started off as the Micro Cup.
Started off as the Micro Cup. It was okay. The whole thing was actually really fun, which is a very dumb reductionist thing to say. But like my big takeaway from the whole event is that Nissan of Canada is very French. Like the upper management of Nissan Canada is all very French because there's a lot of like legacy carryover from Renault. Caleigh, you might not know, Renault and Nissan are corporate partners.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I know Renault.
Yeah. So like Nissan's director of communication, Didier Marceau, is
Very French.
extremely French, like
Really?
like French from France, not Quebecois.
Oh.
And it was funny listening to him and Jacques Deschamps, who organizes the Sentra Cup race. talk about how that race came to be and listening to Jacques make fun of Didier for his French accent.
Nice.
Oh, you know how Didier is. Well, maybe we could do this, and maybe I don't know if we could do that. Like bro, you can't say shit. You're the two Frenchest guys in the world. We're arguing about this over wine.
Checks out.
When I heard about how they say inexpensive the microwave is going to be, I phoned Didier. We have to do this. We have to do what you call a monotype series, like in Europe. And he's like, yeah, like the Renault Clio Cup. Yeah, we have to do it. And they pitched it to Nissan corporate, also a French guy from France, Christian Meunier, I think. I'm
Meunier?
Meunier, yeah. Yep. I'm butchering the name. I was like, yeah, great, do it. There was no like big pitch, no heroic like. This is a tale of trying to get a scrappy little program off the ground. No, I was like, yeah, it sounds great. I can do it.
There's definitely a kind of a sort of DGAF attitude towards at Nissan, and I kind of like it.
They're pretty chill. They're not like some Japanese brands where like no one says it, but all of the decisions are made in Japan.
Yeah.
Nissan will let their foreign branches do stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Micro Cup, now Sentra Cup, has been like, it started in Quebec because very French, and also because Quebec has a lot of racetracks. There's like hardly any tracks in Ontario. There's like 3 or 4 good ones. And there's not a lot of interest here either, because like I think in Ontario there's lots of F1 and NASCAR, but the interest in the amateur racing and not so much.
Okay.
Whereas in Quebec they follow the European tradition of like a Renault Clio Cup. It's huge profit maker for Renault. Sentra Cup not so much for Nissan, more just to get the brand out. But yeah, it's actually really cool to check out and just see like honest, inexpensive, approachable grassroots motorsports. Like the cars themselves are very cheap. Like Mazda's own MX-5 Cup is known for being like one of the most inexpensive racing series you can enter.
Yeah.
It's one of the cheapest race cars you can buy at about $100,000.
Yeah.
A brand new Sentra Cup car is like 40.
Damn.
That's wild.
Yeah, like the Micro Cup started at 20 something. The Sentra is a much bigger, more substantial car. Costs gone up a bit. But you can get into a used one for 20. It still complies.
Yeah,
that's like $50,000 a season.
That's pretty wild. That's in the grand scheme of motorsports. That's dirt cheap.
Peanuts.
Yeah,
peanuts. You can burn that doing local autocross if you're enough of an asshole. Like yeah. So to do like real serious competitive racing in a real factory prepped race car is fucking really cool. To be able to do it for a relatively modest number like that.
Yeah.
And the racing itself is like super crazy competitive.
All right.
Like those cars are beat.
So take us through the weekend.
So watched qualifying session of the Sentra Cup cars. Yep. The whole track was buzzing because it wasn't just a Sentra thing that was going on there.
Yeah. What's going on?
So there was a vintage series. There's like a local series called Track, like TRAC. Pardon me, I'm trying to stifle a burp very poorly. We really need a cough button on these mics. So there was a vintage series that was like semi-open class. You had like MGB Sprites and 66 Mustangs and like a Corvette Stingray with like a wacky Gran Turismo looking aero kit on it. All out on track at once.
Nice.
The Corvette won.
Naturally.
The Sentras went out and qualified. And then there was another series there, which is actually really cool. It's called Super Production Challenge, which is kind of a semi-spec series, sort of like not full open, but like a hot class at autocross. Like stock powertrain, but open chassis sort of thing.
Interesting.
And actually, a lot of the retired Nissan microcars are now running in that series.
Oh.
And they are actually running faster than the Sentras are now because they can modify them now.
That is hilarious.
And they are quick.
Yeah.
Those cars can move and take a pounding. Like it's
beans.
really, really tight racing. Like there's a lot of like bouncing and contact.
Oh my gosh.
It's not violent like touring car racing, but like none of the cars have clean bodies.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah. And
you don't see that often, like actual gritty, rubbing his racing kind of racing anymore.
Yeah. Well, when the Sentras went out for their first session, like their first race session, I think it was on lap 5. Like someone went off the track because they were fighting and rolled.
Oh my gosh.
Like driver walked out, no problem, because the cars are caged.
Yeah.
Like, really safe. But yeah, like it's not just a bunch I don't want to say it's not just a bunch of amateurs, because for the large part it is. But that's the point, right? Like, you're supposed to be able to be an amateur and go out and practice. Like, one of the guys there, DJ, was telling me, like, he's from Tetford Nissan in Montreal. They bought the car last year. He started and he didn't really care. He just wanted to have fun. And now he's actually getting pretty good. He's up in 5th now.
Sweet.
Perfect.
It's great to see that. I'm doing more Quebecois than France. Pardon me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta
Let it slide.
We have the whole episode. You just gotta
Keep going.
Just keep working on it.
Yeah,
tweak it.
But yes, like, it's cool to see, like, there's a mix of, like, I just wanted to try it, and there's some real professionals like Valerie Lemochet, who's won the Cup twice and has always done really well.
Weren't you faster than her at go-karting once?
That was a fluke. That's a fluke. There's no way I'm chalking that up to merit. It was an rental go-kart track, and in one qualifying session, I was marginally faster once. That's a fluke.
So, a little bit of context for Caleigh / our listeners. Usually before the Toronto Auto Show, various car companies tend to put on like pre-show events. Mm-hmm. Nissan, for a couple of years, they've done go-karting.
Ooh.
Super fun. One year they had Valerie out, and Nathan was faster than her.
That,
one
like,
race.
pat
Once.
yourself on the back,
Literally
even
once.
if it's just once.
I did. I pat
Good.
myself on the back very thoroughly, and then in the race session, I got humiliated. It's a fluke. She's a real race driver. She's very fast. I am an asshole with a car. Very different.
Absolutely.
And the guy is like seems like he's going to win the series this year. Is Simone Vincent, who's doing this and also doing not Casca, the Canadian Rally Series.
Sweet.
So he's like bouncing around the country all the time just for the love of racing. And
That's
like,
amazing.
there's not much of an entry fee. There's no prize money. Like, there's like, I wanted to keep the money out of it as much as I could. They're competitive enough. They already try to cheat all the time. We have to inspect the cars all the time. We see some creative bullshit. And yeah, obviously they don't need it because like it's some of the hardest racing I've ever seen.
Sick.
Yeah, makes F1 look like golf.
What?
Nice.
Yeah. Any other questions? I don't know what else to volunteer. It was a great weekend.
So these are basically like base Sentras, just gutted, stripped out,
Yes.
caged.
So the Micra, when there was the Micras, it was much more strict. Now, since they moved to the Sentras, and they only moved to the Sentras because, for anyone not familiar, the Nissan Micra was like a tiny, tiny little subcompact car that they discontinued because no one was buying, because we're all buying SUVs. So they moved to the Sentra, which is their little compact car now. Not their compactest, but it's the only one you can get with a manual transmission, which is essential for actual racing.
Like a manual, or
You
like
can get
cattle?
you can go get a brand new Nissan Sentra right now with a traditional three pedal 6-speed manual transmission.
Really?
And that is the base for the Sentra Cup car.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then from the stock car, so obviously they are gutted, caged, race seat, race harness. I guess the 4-piston Brembo is off a Z car.
Are those Akabonos or Brembos now?
Brembos, I believe.
Okay.
Don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure Brembos.
Okay.
BC Racing coilovers, and then intake and exhaust tweaks. But the internals of the engine and gearbox are locked.
Yep.
And like sealed and checked all the time. Mapping is checked. Like every car is checked so thoroughly.
Interesting. What are some of the mods that people now do to the X Micro Cup cars?
The Micro Cup cars, shorter final drive is the big one.
Yep.
Further lightweighting.
Nice.
You can crack the engine open and do higher compression this or higher lift cams or no.
Nice.
The Sentras are locked down.
Gotcha.
I was talking to their tech, who actually is provided by Nissan, and he's the scrutineer who actually checks out all the cars. He's like, I check engine mapping, I can see this and this, I can compare against this and this, I know what all this should look like, and if anything looks kind of off, I can hone in on it. One of the ones they found was one of the teams used a transmission off a Qashqai, a manual Qashqai, their little compact SUV they used to make, and they bolted it on. It's visually identical from the outside. You'd never catch it. But it has a shorter final drive racer, so it could accelerate a little faster.
Sneaky.
And a couple teams like, something's not right. These cars should all be the same, and that one's quicker. Something's wrong. And they looked and like, yeah, then third year, you're doing $5,000. In third year at this speed, you're doing so much RPMs, and everyone else is doing this. Something's wrong.
Wow.
Pull the trans, pull it apart, count the teeth on the gears. No. I see what you did here.
Sneaky.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They get penalized for this kind of thing? Or
DQ'd.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I
Yikes.
guess as you should, but that's wild.
Big one like that, you get DQ'd.
Wow.
I was talking to a guy, he's like, are there, from your tone, it sounds like you suspect there are some teams out there cheating and you can't prove it. It's like there are some that are doing something and I can't prove it, but they're also not gaining enough advantage of it that I'm going to lose any sleep over it. Like, okay, fair
Enough.
Valid, yeah.
So it's kind of like let's slip that one under the rug.
Yeah. I could rip the engine apart, but I wouldn't be able to prove anything concretely. It's fine.
Fair enough.
They're not winning.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, fun weekend was had by both of y'all.
Yeah.
Did you do some gardening or some shit?
I did do some gardening. Actually, my wife is really into gardening. We also bought a car. But our flowers in the front are really coming in. It's just a massive explosion of color up front, and I fucking love it.
Did you guys plant tomatoes?
We did.
Yeah? How are they
We
coming
did.
along?
The tomatoes are great.
Can we go back to the cars,
They're trying
please?
to match
Please.
they're matching the paint of the new car, but I don't know, something about the beans this year just not. They're just not coming in.
Do the beans match your other car?
No. Okay, so I did something incredibly fucking stupid.
He planted tomatoes.
I know,
Fucking
right?
gotta start in the winter, dude. You gotta start that shit indoors. What an idiot. My God.
right? I bought a car. It's incredibly dumb.
Yep.
It's a 2009 Pontiac G8.
Whoa.
Yeah, but why?
Because ever since upon selling my E39 M5 a couple of months ago, I missed having a V8.
So you bought a
V8s
truck.
are cool. I mean, they're kind of cool.
Would you explain to our listeners and to Caleigh what a G8 is?
So a Pontiac G8 is a
Truck.
sports sedan that Pontiac basically made between 2008 and 2009. Not quite as like a last-ditch effort to save the brand before GM pulled the plug,
Okay.
but it was basically their last their last new vehicle that they introduced to North America. I think that and the Solstice Coupe were like last couple that came in before GM pulled the plug.
Does it feel Australian? Does it have an Australian VIN?
No. Do Australian VINs start with 6?
I think so.
Then it has an Australian VIN. Neat.
Damn.
Kind of cool, actually. The big thing, aside from it being cammed, the big thing that really sticks out at me is how similar they feel to the E39s.
Well, I've also always said they're way too big and they feel like trucks, so yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, so apparently, Albert Bierman, before he started at Hyundai and after he left at BMW, apparently, and don't quote me on this, he spent a short time at GM, basically launching and he basically worked on the Holden Commodore, which is the Australian version of the G8.
Cool.
So I can kind of understand why these similarities exist. You know, they're two big V8 sedans. I feel like the M5 is a little more
Good.
appreciably more good, but the G8 is quite entertaining.
I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing this thing because I've always been curious
more.
about them. And yes, it is coming in to get some work done. And
Sounds pretty rad.
I've always been curious about them. And there was something else I wanted to say, and I don't recall what it was now. The first one I went to see was not in good shape. So I'm curious to see what a clean one actually presents like.
Yeah. So the first one, I guess, context for Caleigh, we checked one out a few weeks ago, just down the street from here, and that thing was clapped.
But it wasn't that clapped. It was exactly as clapped as I was expecting a 15-year-old Pontiac to be.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
This one's quite nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Interior's clean, exterior's clean. Yeah, you could probably use a polish. The seats could probably use some leather conditioner, but shows well. It's clean, no rust. Engine was rebuilt because they tend to if you if you don't deactivate cylinder deactivation, they tend to eat their valves.
Nice.
Save the planet.
Yep.
Waste an engine.
Yep. So this one had some reliability mods performed to it.
In the form of a camshaft.
Yes.
A big, angry, lopey camshaft.
I mean, if you're opening up the engine to rebuild it, you might as well. And it lopes. It is very lopey.
Does it have a nasty idle?
Glug, 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 glug. Yes, you will hear it tomorrow.
Sick.
It's pretty great. Yeah, it's funny. My wife has always like had a soft spot for these cars. Like
Your wife?
Yes.
Your wife
Believe it or not, yes. Yes.
has a soft spot for mid-sized Pontiac sedans.
G8 specifically.
I don't believe you.
I don't understand.
I don't understand it either. But she does. She always had. And
You're not projecting.
No. No, I shit you not. I shit you not.
Okay. Proceed.
Yeah, it sort of it kind of came out of left field, but yeah, I showed her this like a month ago, and she's like, "All right, bet, let's go check it out." And then all this happened.
Cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Do you miss your GTI yet?
No, I don't miss it, but it was probably the best daily we've ever had. Wasn't the best car. The NA is the best car. But I think of all the shit boxes we've dailied over the years, the GTI is like hands down the best. That's
They're
daily
daily cars. They're like the default answer, just good car.
Absolutely. And for a good reason.
Well, that's really cool, man.
Anyway.
I'm looking forward to seeing this thing.
Yeah.
Tight.
We will I will show you just how greasy those Antares
I
tires
was
are.
just going to say, I recall you saying it is on garbage tires that need to be dealt with in some capacity.
Yes, I will. I don't think I'll have much issue burning them off before I have to replace them.
Those things are limited slip, right?
Yes.
Nasty.
Sick. That was like the first thing we did was like literally the first thing we did. We picked up in Listowel. It's about an hour and a half away from here, so maybe like 10 minutes out. I was like, stop in the middle of the country road. No one was there.
Send it.
Stability off. Brake. Gas.
Yeah.
You.
It was pretty great.
Sick.
Yeah. So yeah, I did something stupid. So yeah, well, you guys were out racing and learning how to ride motorcycles.
Cool.
We're all very sensible people.
Yeah.
Truly,
Pretty much.
which is a complete opposite to the press cars that we've been living with for the past couple of weeks.
Yes. Because I don't have a segue.
Don't tell me that was a great segue. You got to admit that was a great segue.
No, it wasn't.
No.
No.
God,
Sorry.
I tried.
I let you down.
I tried. Anyway, so while we were making our stupid decisions, and you guys were racing, we were spending time with various cars.
Well, yeah, that's the point. What cars, Nick?
Okay.
Why don't you tell the kids what cars we were driving?
So
Last I was hoping you would do when I said I don't have a segue. Please help me, you fuck.
So while we were off making stupid decisions, we had some sensible cars in the garage. Last week Nathan, you were spending the week with the 2025 Cadillac Optic.
Oh yeah.
And I was in the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander.
Right.
What do you want to start with?
I really like the Optic. I did not expect to like it.
It was pretty great.
Because it's a mid-sized GM crossover, whatever, who cares car.
Blob on wheels.
And it is a fabulous whatever, who cares car.
Beautiful interior.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
interior, when we
gosh.
hopped into it, take it first, but I think we were both like
It was
really surprised
really
by
impressive. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
The beautiful blue.
Yeah, dark blue is nice. The screen is big for the old people who can't read. I was with my mom last night in my press car.
Yep.
And very disappointingly, very much like yourself, Caleigh, she was impressed with the big-ass screen. Oh my God, I can see this one. Sandra, look, I can read it.
Please note
Of
that
all the things with this car, oh my God, look at this screen. Might as well be a kid.
I think Caleigh and your mom were like infatuated by the screens for like different reasons.
yes.
Caleigh loved the passenger screen for some reason in this thing. Actually, I think I know why, because you can literally play games on it.
Wait, no, we're talking about different cars.
The E53.
Let's stay on task.
Different car.
Yes.
Wait.
Sorry. Yeah, we did kind of go off on a tangent there.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Cadillac. has a big screen, but it's not ostentatious big.
Correct.
Very easy to use. Very slick. Very good infotainment. Because who else cares about anything on electric cars? It's all about tech. Have more tech. And this tech is very good, but not in your face.
I will say, as far as like one-piece gauge clusters and infotainment screens go, I do like Cadillac's implementation of it all the best. It looks slick. It looks like it belongs.
I like that implementation of it. I did not care for the Escalade at all. But this is pretty good. I like this a lot. I don't know, rode well, drove well. They all drive pretty much the same. This thing drives nice. 486 kilometers of range, charges
pretty
fast, 300-ish horsepower, all-wheel drive. The biggest thing is that like the performance is fine, range is good, charging is good, interior is actually quite lovely. Like it's just it's an easy thing to live with. Like something that I pay attention to a lot in a car because I'm a very sad man with a very short fuse that has nothing else to complain about other than bad technology and good cars is the piss off quotient. How many times I get frustrated in a week with a car just like I'm just trying to change the fucking station. Why can't I do it? Why do I have to learn?
I feel like we've all witnessed this just a little bit.
And the Cadillac pissed me off 0 times. Gold star.
Ooh, what?
Wow.
Even just things like, and things that affect us as photographers too, right? Like, please stay on while I'm trying to shoot you. Mm-hmm. Please go into reverse every time I put you into reverse. Don't go into neutral. Don't ask me to put my foot on the brake. Don't do any bullshit. When I hit the tailgate button, fucking close it. Shit like that a lot of companies from Stuttgart can't figure out. And yeah, GM has got it nailed. In the optic, it is actually dialed in beautifully, super wonderful and easy to live with. And this thing was decked, loaded, drives itself with Super Cruise, lots of range. 62 power, 4 or 5, mid-60s for a loaded Cadillac optic.
That's nuts.
That's wild.
Like,
That's beautiful.
When you consider like what, I guess its closest competitor price-wise in the premium space would be the Volvo EX30.
So this is where I get stuck. Like with the moves that General Motors is making with their electric vehicles, with their Ultium battery tech, that allows them to keep costs down. And they're not losing money on it either. They're one of the only companies that actually is making money on EVs now. Mm-hmm. They haven't turned a profit yet, but they're turning profit per car and will have their infrastructure paid off by the end of this year, which is huge. Is that these things are so aggressively priced. It's not a case of, and I made this point with the Volvo EX90 last year, and then the optic really distills it down. It's not, I wouldn't directly compare it against other EVs.
Right.
Really?
At this price point, I would directly compare it against just other mid-sized compact crossovers. Like regardless of what's powering it, who fucking cares? It's very good. It performs well. It drives great, and it meets price parity.
I get the sense that that's kind of what Cadillac is going for with the Vistic, which is their 3-row. So
Isn't the Escalade the Vistic? Oh
no, the Escalade IQ, that's the electric one. The Vistic is the XT6 replacement. So the Traverse is new this year.
Travers?
The Traverse.
Uh-huh.
The Traverse is, hey, you know what? I didn't make fun of you. I'm playing at Caleigh right now. I didn't make fun of you when you said impressing versus impressive earlier a few minutes ago. So, you know what?
Shade. Why would you call me out if I got away with it?
Because you were laughing at me just now.
Okay, but 2 things. I called you on it, 1. And 2, Callie's French.
Yeah.
She's ESL, dude.
Yeah. So.
Stop being racist.
Yeah.
I don't like this episode. Anyway, but yeah, I can see that GM is going for exactly that, in that it's not really, in that any given EV offering of theirs isn't necessarily competing against other EVs, but it's rather
It's just an entry in the field.
An entry in the field that just so happens to be electric. Kind of like the Traverse, which is new, the Acadia, which is also new, but the XT6 is being discontinued, and Cadillac's 3-row crossover is
right. So there's
going to
rebranding
be
it as the
Vistic, and it just so happens to be electric.
I see. Okay, that tracks. All right. Yeah, I was really impressed with it. It's very good at many things, and it's very aggressively priced. And if you want a really, really nice golf cart for a reasonable amount of money, go buy one of those. Doesn't matter if it's gas or not. Just they're really nice.
I like GM's, or Caleigh specifically, I like their integration of minimalism slash sustainable materials better than the EX30. And that really stuck out to me because, when I took it out to run a few errands last week, that comparison was just naturally making itself known in my mind because they're two electric SUVs or two they're two rows, they're new-ish, they play in the
optics a
in the
lot
luxury
bigger.
space. It is, especially for the money. That's like that. It's considerably roomier, especially the rear seats.
Yeah, there's an argument they're going for different things because also a dual motor EX30 is a bullet next to this thing. Like it's a much more performance oriented thing.
Yeah, I'll grant you that. I do think Cadillac's interior is more interesting. Like there's just a lot to look at. There's a lot of details to take in. There's a lot of different textures to feel up.
Yeah, but it's not too busy. Even for those of us who don't go around molesting dashboards, it's not it's not a smorgasbord of shit. It's not cluttered. It's really nicely laid out. Actually no complaints. And a really great thing.
And it also doesn't go too heavy-handed on the minimalism, unlike the EX30.
I wouldn't call it minimalist. It's clean, not super sterile. It's just actually no complaints.
I love that wood trim.
Yes,
you can literally see the words in the
they call it
newsprint.
They call it newspaper veneer because it's newspaper.
You can literally see the words.
It's like a little translucent vignette type deal. That's a word now. Vignette, overette.
Oh, we're making words this episode.
Dog, English is fucking Latin, French, and German. That's all made up words. If it makes sense, send it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, tell us about your. That was my washer. Tell us about your dryer.
So my dryer was the.
That's a segment, kids.
That actually is. Well done. 10 out of 10. My dryer last week was the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander. And you know what? That's probably the best damn mainstream three-row SUV money can buy, as long as you're willing to wait on whatever wait list that Toyota has at their dealership.
How many monies?
Mid-60s.
I wasn't just yawning there.
Definitely not. No. Mid-60s. The exact number is escaping me right now.
That's fine.
Mid-60s. This wasn't the hybrid max trim level, so it had the standard hybrid powertrain.
Okay. Are all Grandi Highlandies hybrid in some capacity?
No.
You can get the base 2.4 turbo.
Yeah, okay. Just the turbo. So this was the mid-range hybrid, and I was actually pleasantly surprised in that. I get the sense that in the non-Grand Highlanders that have made their way through the office these past couple of years, whatever, they're really gutless. But I didn't get that feel out of this Grand Highlander. It actually kind of felt like it actually got out of its own way a little better than the others.
Yeah, they got the powertrain calibrated really well. And it's an 8-speed one behind that, or is it still the old 6-speed?
I think it's still a CVT.
And it was gray.
It was gray.
What was the interior like? I actually never saw this thing. It was parked on the lot the whole week. I know that. And the stupid thing is that I actually really wanted to go drive it because I had one 2 years ago when it first came out, and I loved it. And I wanted because I try to make a point of revisiting cars just to see if it's changed or if I've changed. And that opportunity evaded me because I have the attention span of a gnat.
Yes. Black interior. Black, leather, soft text, whatever. Uninspired color combo, but it just felt nice. This wasn't the top trim, unlike yours. You had the platinum?
I had the fake Range Rover, yeah.
And that one really did feel like a fake Range Rover.
Yeah.
This one just felt really, really nice. Great fit and finish. Great materials. Fucking roomy.
Caleigh, did you drive it?
No.
Yeah, you did actually.
I did?
You ran a couple errands with it.
I had
That
to
memorable,
drive Addie's mother-in-law, and it was the most terrifying. She's a lovely lady. She's so nice. But I was like, imagine something happened right now. Like, this is terrifying. I'll be honest. I didn't really spend a lot of time with it. I think I got a massage, which was nice. But
Does it have massage seats?
You probably can.
so maybe I'm just lying.
You're probably thinking of the
unfortunately.
optic.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, we were
Because you're
playing
fiddling with that
yeah.
switch. You can like a. It took a while to figure.
The massage on that was not. They did the way it turned on was kind of dumb.
Okay, so yeah, I think I remember that.
But like whatever, it didn't piss me off. It's a very minor nitpick.
Okay.
Anyways, the Highlander.
Alas, the Grand Highlander. It's just overall pleasant.
Yeah,
Like great fuel economy. I averaged like 7.7 throughout the week, which
off.
is really fucking good for a
7 and
3-row.
change in that brick.
Yeah, fucking wild.
Damn.
Yeah, really impressive effort on Toyota's part for in the 3-row space.
Yeah, that one's a home run.
Like, yeah,
Just a really good, big, comfy, dumb people mover.
yep, gets the job done, does it well, does it nicely. What more do you want?
Handling.
Yeah, yeah, maybe a little more power,
Well, you can get
some
that.
handling. Yeah, some handling would be nice.
Yeah. But whatever. Who's asking, right?
It's fucking 3-row SUV, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that was last week, and this is this week. So I swapped the Grand Highlander for a that is indeed the noise it makes.
Caleigh, why don't you tell us your thoughts about the 2020 5 or 6?
2025. So we're in the 2025 Toyota Tacoma Trailhunter this week, and Caleigh, I think you have more thoughts on it than I do because like I barely touched this week.
Oh, that's true.
Because Nick bought 40 cars.
That's
So I'm trying all my new ship boxes, my new and old ship boxes. I barely touched that thing. I'm driving it home tonight, which is the first time I'm taking it home
really
this week.
If anyone from Toyota PR is listening, we are recording this on Wednesday evening. Nick has had it since Monday afternoon. He's not neglecting it and will spend the rest of the week with it. Isn't that right, Nicholas?
I promise.
That's what I thought. Proceed.
I really liked it. So I was driving and I heard like some noise. And I thought I'd left a window open. I check all 4 windows, no. I checked the sunroof, no. I rolled down the passenger window because there is a snorkel kit on this truck. And I hear this every single time you accelerate and then let off the gas. It is so funny. It is comical. It doesn't
hilarious.
matter what mode, if you go into sport or I don't know the other modes, but if you go into any other mode, it still does that turbo spool. It is hilarious.
It's so over the top. The snorkel just acts like a big trumpet for it, and it's just so
It's in
ridiculously
your ear.
over the top loud because it's up right at the cabin with you.
Yep, it's
Like,
great.
Yeah, so when I had it at the pre-production 2 years ago, actually it might be the same truck. I got to check the plates on it. I was like, the first thing I did is I left Toyota HQ. And it was like a miserable morning, so I had the windows closed. And I went to shoot it. And like in the process of moving around, I'm like, the fuck is that whistling noise?
Yeah.
It's only when I'm moving. That pop a vac line. This is a pre-prod. You pop the vac line, open the hood, and everything looks fine. Is it? Is it that?
Yeah.
Like I open the window. Yeah.
It's so funny. Like I've never been in a car that turbo spool is that loud. I don't think I've gotten that much attention in a vehicle.
It's a dude magnet.
100%. I've had 2 guys come up and just be like, "This thing is so sick, bro. Like, can I take pictures? Is this yours? Oh my gosh, can I? Like, how much is it?"
And that's just while we're like running errands.
Yeah. Like parked in a parking lot. And every time I go to my car, there's not a swarm, but there's like a man that's there with his phone.
Yeah.
Like, this thing is so sick.
It's pretty rad. That's a fucking tough looking spec.
It is. It is. But I just can't help but feel like objectively the Ranger Raptor is the better choice. Like,
Damn, son. Wake up, Billy. You just gotta go right to that. I can't even sing any praises. Talk about I was trying to fucking pitch for it. It looks tough. It's a fucking kick-ass color. It's actually built for overlanding instead of jumping off dunes that you're never going to fucking jump off of.
but I like the Ranger
It has a
Raptor
6-foot
more.
bed. It's actually pretty good on gas. It has, I think, technically more torque than the Ranger Raptor.
It does.
It's got old man emu shocks and springs, which is fucking pretty tough.
The hardware is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not as impressive as a Ranger Raptor, granted. That thing's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. But it's still really good on Toyota's part.
But yeah, just like objectively, I feel like the Ranger Raptor is the better choice. But before you cut me off, what I was gonna say is
You're wrong. You're not wrong. It's way better.
the Tacoma Trailhunter is just way more fun.
Really?
It's more. It just doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
Like it's loaded up with knobby ass tires. A sport bar in the back, the fucking snorkel that goes.
Does the roof rack rattle still?
Doesn't rattle, but there's quite a bit of wind noise off
Yeah,
of
my
it.
pre-production rattled a lot.
So it's probably not the same one then.
Price wise,
Is this still have the turquoise interior?
Yes,
That's fucking sick.
it's actually a lovely color combo. Caleigh, you mentioned that you weren't quite jiving with the gold wheels
the gold rims.
on the green paint.
The thing is like it works together. It looks sick. I don't know. Something was rubbing me the wrong way about the gold rims personally. But I do think like as a color combo, palette, vibe, aesthetic, whatever you want to call it, it works.
I think gunmetal wheels might work a smidge better, but I still like the gold.
Okay. That's fine.
It's a sick looking thing.
It's fucking pretty tough. And I feel like you were asking me this week, like, who's this fucking thing for when the Ranger Raptor exists?
Yeah.
For less money. Is the massive amount of people that will live and die by what Toyota says.
And that's exactly it. On my way back from Toyota HQ, literally every single taco that I saw on the way back has everything the Trailhunter is equipped with from the factory. They're all lifted. They're all on KO2s, or actually this one's on Goodyear Territories, I think, not KO2s. Knobby off-road tires. They're all lifted. They all have snorkels. And like this is basically taking the guesswork out of modding your car.
Right.
It literally has parts on its standard from companies like Old Man Emu and ARB, who provide said aftermarket parts for past tacos.
Yeah, but it's also like the Toyota thing of the Toyota's going to work, presumably. And this is not to disparage Ford, but everyone's got the idea that Toyota is the most reliable vehicle. And there's, a non-zero amount of data to substantiate this.
Yes.
And it's not a case of like, oh, I really want a Ranger Raptor. Everyone's waiting for Toyota to do something like that. The Toyota version of that thing, the badass Toyota. And not necessarily like, I want a Ranger Raptor, I want a truck to do this. I'm waiting for the hottest Tacoma.
Yeah.
Because the Tacoma, the Toyota trucks in particular have like such a vehement following.
Yep.
Like people like serially buy F-150s, not because they love Ford, but because that's just what I do.
Yep.
People who buy cereal tacos are fucking obsessed with tacos. Cereal tacos. Who isn't obsessed with tacos? I love tacos. And I think that's who it's for. And then they'll pay the premium for the shit that's on it and for its enhanced overlanding capability over the Ranger Raptor.
Yep.
Yeah, different strokes.
Yep.
But I'll give you that. The Ranger Raptor did feel a little too buttoned down for me. And the taco was kind of a silly bitch, and I like that.
It is. I just ended up I just prefer the Ranger Raptor a little better. Like,
I can take it off your hands if you want.
I mean, I'm probably gonna want to drop the G8 all week. So,
Take. Yeah, I like that truck.
sick.
Do you want my Mercedes?
Maybe. What Mercedes do you have?
This week I'm in a Mercedes 2025.
Yeah, say the full name.
Where the fuck year it is. I actually don't know what the full name is. I think this one is the shorter name. It's not as ridiculous.
Yes.
This week I am in a 2025 Mercedes-AMG, who the fuck knows? E53 hybrid
First.
performance, not performance, hybrid sedan. It's an E53, so
Yes.
one down from 63, which I believe doesn't exist yet.
First edition, which I don't know if it's important, but
I
Well, it
don't know what it means, if I'm being completely honest. It had some really cool yellow trim and some pretty kick-ass seats.
Yep.
And some really interesting graphics that make it look
Interesting.
aggressive,
Yes.
sporty. It looks very sporty. Neat. It's matte white and has black racing stripes, so that everyone knows you're very, very cool. Cool. Yep.
But actually,
It actually looks pretty tough. I like this redesign.
I love the wheels.
That's the typical AMG Forge 21. It looks they always look tough.
Say what you will about new Mercedes, they fucking nail their wheel designs.
So the 53 lands in an interesting part of a Mercedes lineup. I was actually very interested in this one. This is a flip for me because I was not interested in the 63 because it's what was once the V8 is now the 4-cylinder. I was like, this is probably going to be lame, but I have morbid curiosity, and it impressed me. Whereas the 53 is their 3-liter straight 6 coupled with a hybrid system. And I was more interested in that because it is physically more engine. And a straight 6 is actually a very traditional Mercedes power plant.
Yes. So it kind of had. I remember we had this discussion when John had the CLE 53.
Yeah, that I didn't get to drive.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you were away for whatever pressure
Just
that
doing
week.
something very extremely cool that you weren't invited to.
Clearly,
It was only me.
got it.
So yeah, I was curious to try this. I don't like it as much.
really, I love the engine, dude.
I really
love
liked
the
it.
powertrain.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm nonplussed. Not about it.
But did you launch it?
I did launch it. It doesn't launch hard.
What? My stomach dropped when Nick launched it.
I may
for
have to
the first time.
reevaluate this, but like when I evaluated the system in a closed course with a supervision of professionals, it didn't do the hard launch thing. It just kind of don't get me wrong, it's fast. It's very fast. It has 600 horsepower. It's very, very fast. Who the fuck cares?
I quite love the powertrain.
You can have it. I'd rather have your taco.
Do you actually want to swap?
We'll discuss this off air.
Okay.
I don't hate it. I was just expecting more from it, and I'm not getting it. I think the biggest thing that's disappointing me is that the 63, there's a lot of things that it was supposed to do wrong, and it ended up nailing them. And the 53 is supposed to do a lot of things right, and it's missing on them.
Interesting.
But did you get an invigorating massage while you were driving?
And it wasn't even that invigorating.
And it wasn't even that invigorating. Oh my god! Like to put a title, invigorating, and then it be just a casual little rub.
Yeah.
Are you saying your full body was not activated?
It was not activated.
No.
The only thing that thing's really good at is the hot stone massage, and it is 5 billion degrees this week.
too
I
hot.
don't want hot stones.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It
Okay,
drives.
so-
It looks good. It drives well. It is very fast. It turns good. It sounds pretty good. The new dashboard layout that Mercedes has introduced on this thing is fabulous. I love it.
It's a big improvement over their previous.
Huge improvement.
Yeah.
So they've gotten rid of the waterfall tablet floating bullshit thing. It is now just a television bullshit thing that has widescreen in the dashboard.
With a passenger screen.
With a passenger screen and very little attempt to integrate the 2, 3, or 7 screens. They're just not calling it ultra screen now. It's just like super screen or some shit. And it's $1,800 instead of $10,000.
Jesus Christ.
Into it. But don't take that option. The Caleigh, tell us about the passenger screen.
The passenger
Right,
screen.
great. So,
I mean, honestly, like, it is cool, but first off, there's no privacy screen for the driver. So,
Yeah, that's distracting.
Meaning, you cannot do anything while the person is driving. If the car, so, okay, that's maybe a bit, I don't know, but you can put the massage, you can see stuff, but you can't, there's games that you can play, which I would use.
so you can access the same functions that you could on the center screen.
It is the same exact thing on the passenger as the driver. The same thing.
Okay.
I feel like the only difference then is like the ability to do things when you're shifted into park. Because you probably
you
can't-
can have those games. I'm
the
pretty
big screen
sure,
as
don't
well?
quote me on that, on the big screen as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
And
Oh.
the games are mix and match of different Mercedes-Benz cars. And there was Sudoku. There's a camera as well that you can take selfies on if you put a USB stick in.
I don't like the big camera hanging on the dashboard.
That's what Rush was saying too. He said it just feels like who's watching.
Who's it for?
Well,
Yeah.
I know new cars have like attention monitors and IR cameras and this and that, but this is just
So there.
like a 5-megapixel camera just plonked in the middle of the dash.
That's what the kids like.
You know, fuck the kids. I don't know anything. It's not me. It's the children who are wrong.
But
If you don't get the optional super screen, you just get like an extended piece of wood or carbon fiber, and it looks far more elegant. I don't understand why you wouldn't do that.
I would rather that.
Yeah,
Just give me the lovely trim.
yeah.
the one thing that was kind of cool is you can, like, if the driver's screen is on nav or something, you could put a massage on the passenger screen. But, like, other than that, who's really using it?
Yeah, and the home screen defaults to nav anyway. I don't like the new software interface. This was an option on the old screen where you could set it to like the tiled thing or this way, where it's just like a nav screen with like an app menu, but everything has to go back home and go into the app menu. It's not intuitive, it's clunky, and they still haven't fucking figured out how to change radio stations eloquently. The animations are not as slick as I was expect on a product of this caliber, especially since your competitor in fucking Munich has this shit figured out and has for years, Mercedes. It's better. It's visually a lot better. Build quality is miles ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Huge leap for them.
Yep.
It's a much nicer space. It's much more pleasant. It's much less gaudy while still being flashy. They've done a good job of like trying to find that duality of like, okay, get the kids. And you got the kids on board. You got the lights. You got the contrasting tissue. You got the screens. You got all that shit. But making it more elegant. I like this layout a lot better. Software's fixable. They'll get there. It's fine.
It's still... It isn't missing that sense of Mercedes-Benz solidity that's been missing in a lot of their other new products.
Yes, but what is missing is brake pedal feel.
It was a little weird.
Mercedes has had this figured out for many years. My friend Chris he had an old 500e. That thing has, and this is a weird minutia thing to talk about, but brake pedal feel is extremely important in a car because it stops you and protects you from a great many things. That is the pedal that you want to be most reassuring and want the most trust in. And it should be the most linear and the most easy to read. And Mercedes had this nailed the best of anybody on this planet in 1992. And it's been a long way down since then. They are now among the worst. I cannot, to save my fucking life, get that car to stop smoothly. I feel like baby's first fucking drive in daddy's car every time. In sport mode, it's okay, but the downshifts are clunky.
Yes.
Better than the C43. Caleigh, you were gesturing?
No, Nick was just saying that the paddles are a little bit late to respond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like...
Which is a traditional Mercedes thing that I will let slide.
Yep.
It's a proud tradition.
That's wild.
I will say, my very first experience in an EQS yielded absolutely horrendously inconsistent brake feel. I observed some of that in the E53. Wasn't as bad as it was before, but it's definitely there.
See, the problem is that it's so inconsistent amongst different modes. Like, okay, what if I throw it in sport and just leave the engine on all the time?
Yeah.
Get rid of that element, right? Because like when in most modes you're coming to a stop, it shuts the engine off. And the GLC 63, they have this figured out. They have the electric motor providing tension, some forward locomotion still to simulate creep, so that when you take so that when the engine stops, the car still wants to go forward. So you just get like an even stop. This is a lot to explain. You're coming to a stop. You apply, say, 10% brake pressure, but you have the engine still going forward, trying to drag you forward linearly the whole time you're stopping. In new cars, that engine shuts off, so that 10% pedal pressure stops you much faster. So there's that oomph when you're coming to a stop. What I'm saying is that the GLC, the 63 powertrain, figures this out by keeping the electric motors moving forward. The 53's forgotten about this.
Yep.
And it's just oomph, and it's awkward every fucking time. So if you leave it in normal comforty mode, you get this awkward back and forth between the engine shutting on and off. If you leave it in sport, you have to deal with the transmission being indecisive and clunkety. And if you leave it in electric mode, it's the best, but still not great. Why can't I come to a rest elegantly? Why can I not do this? Fucking stop it. It also handles weird. It's very planted, but it handles weird. I get M5 vibes out of it. This is perhaps because it is extremely fucking heavy.
How heavy is it?
Like 5,500 pounds.
Jesus. That's not light.
Yeah. So I get the same kind of like uncanny valley of weird simulation out of the M5.
You don't quite...
Without the explosive blow your fucking dick off performance.
Yeah.
Still fast. But not as extreme. Not as extreme as I would want if I'm giving up organic feel for alien performance.
You want
be alien.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of lost. Maybe I just need more time with it. This strikes me as a sort of case where I might grow on it, but it's a sort of thing where usually when I pick up a press car, even like my most favorite press cars, like the Corvette E-Ray, where like the first day or two, I'm fucking not nuts about it. I need a bit of time to grow into it, and then I love them. This one's different. I picked it up like, oh, this is great. I like the new dash. I like this. This engine's nice. Okay, yeah, I love it. They got their shit figured out here. And the more I drive it, the less I like it.
Interesting.
Available for $138,000 and 75 kilometers of EV range. And I am seeing 9 liters per 100 kilometers, which is quite good.
That is quite good. So with this being the Edition 1, you do have about $18,000 worth of trim and performance options tacked on to the bottom line.
For the amount of performance that is being offered, the base ask of I think 104, 105. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Quite impressive. Like there's a lot of car here, a lot of good looking car. I really can't get over the 3-pointed star integrated into the taillights. That's just an act of gaudiness I cannot abide. Other than that, the car is very handsome. I love this new dash layout. Software I still think needs a bit of work, but for anyone who's super familiar with Mercedes already, is probably not going to hate it the way I do. Yep. And yeah, not bad. Just kind of surprising. I expected this to be the best one, the Goldilocks of the family. And the 63 is still the best one, even if it's the most different animal.
Neat.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting how we had such different experiences, but maybe I just need to drive it more.
Yeah. And we'll figure that out.
We will. Okay, we will figure that out right now. Because that takes us to the end of this week's episode. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. We genuinely do appreciate it. If you do wish to keep tabs on our automotive misadventures, you can do so at doubleclutch.ca on socials. Nathan, Caleigh, thank you both for joining. Congrats, Caleigh, on getting your motorcycle license.
Thank you so
sick.
much.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm very excited. Unless you're my mom, then never again.
Oh, did she listen to this?
We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see when I get the phone call. No, I had to break the news, and it was not great. But
That's
anyways,
always a fun discussion to have.
Other than that, I am very excited, and I feel it was great. Like I feel a lot more confident, and I'm excited to get going.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
And last but not least, thanks for listening, Nathan's mom.
Bye, guys.
Bye.